Welcome to a special 6-part series of interviews for the United Voice News. Today we bring to you the 5th of the 6-part interview with Ramesh Ramlochan, former bodyguard and driver to the Panday family. What you're about to hear is a full account from Ramesh Ramlochan himself of his tenure with the Panday family. We have reached now to the summit almost, and things are unbelievably hot on this side of the camera when we listen to Ramesh tell all about the Pandays and the UNC. So we invite you, sit back, relax, get those drinks out, get the popcorn out and enjoy the stay. Standing firm. That in the UNC party is persona non grata. I mean, if there's a doctor who doesn't give out these blue pills at every executive meeting, none of them could stand firm. So we know that, in fact, if you could do that and be at the same age as these guys, it outshines them. But Ramesh, I want to take this interview into a lighter session now, and we're going to go into a party that what we will do is get into what people like to hear, the little culture and the bacchanal. To keep away from calling specific names of the individual, but tell us some of the bacchanal that you have seen. I mean, I know you have seen a particular Southern MP with another political Southern MP and a deputy housing minister in a menage a trois, amongst many other things. So this is the light session where you get to laugh and tell your stories. Tell us some of the stories that you've seen out there.
I'm glad you put it this way. It really tickled me. I was just getting to some pain, but it's sad when you see. I have a mother, I have a daughter, I have sisters. It's sad when you see a member of parliament, a sitting member of parliament, telling another member of parliament, and there's a certain individual there who was a senator. You could take the man I done already. You understand? And I was standing there like, is this for real? I could put up with anything, Trust me, you could send 10 men with guns and I could take care of that. But that was something I wasn't prepared for. Let's hear an MP telling an MP about an ex-senator that you could take you could take him already. Yeah, boy, I tell you, and I just wanted the battle. I just wanted little things. And you go to the dances. Now, most of these young senators are hired. These women senators are hired because, again, I don't know how a person with education could sell themselves so short. I've seen it in the opposition office. Young women in the opposition office who MPs would come in, and there's a particular MP would come in and want to feel them up and play with them and pinch them. And yet, there's a Southern MP. He would just barely spiritual. Pinching and squeezing and holding and touching, and like, is this for real? That woman endured so much. She had 2 kids. She endured so much with the politician. When she couldn't give in no more, they told her they was going to renew her contract, and she sold herself short by going to align with them. Only to find out that they didn't renew her contract because they didn't get enough of what they wanted. And that is how bad it is at the opposition office. You talk about couture and bacchanal. Couture and bacchanal, that's real. These things are real. These things are real. If you don't do what they want, you're gone. Recently, a certain person in the opposition office and a man who was standing bodyguard for Panday, recently, who is no longer there because he got fired, because he wasn't a big conjure with the person in the opposition office, and certain information was being traded and they want to know where it's coming from and who's selling and who's buying short. It was taking place right in the opposition. They talk about fraud, and they talk about who's selling who's short and who giving to who. Hello. Right there, the same people who talk about me, sitting right there. I didn't buy no motor car for no security man, that take it and run away, and then had to try to find back for it. And you know who I'm talking about. All of this secret, remember, I know. Because when all they were in positions, and all their back was against the wall, and all they wanted somebody to stand for them and get all you out there, it's me always to come to. I used to ride the posse. I was head of the posse to bully somebody to make sure it didn't happen when nobody had matched it. I remember in Shagwanas, not too far from Jack Warner's office now, I had to go into an apartment to get you out one hour from the opposition office because the man was wanting to beat the shit out of you there. Things like that happen all the time. Especially after the meetings and they go to these little drinks ups and eat ups they have now. And then after the drink up and eat up, the bacchanal will start.
Now Ramesh, I want to poke you a little bit because there's somebody who I once looked up to, and he is the epitome of the Kamala spokesperson now. He was once a deputy political leader, and then he became a government minister, and then he became a mayor, and then he's running now for a councillor's position. So his going forward in life is really going backwards. And I understand that at one point in time, this well-known pundit's wife said to him, if you don't give up your outside woman, I'm going to leave you. Tell me, is this true? If I'm wrong, I will apologize, but tell me if this is true.
Yeah, that's a fact, but he never gave it up though. He never did give it up. He walked away around that. He did. And tell you what, it's sad, eh? You know, I'm a Hindu. And I don't know if there's something in these fellas' karma or they'll pay for it. But beating your wife 6 o'clock in the morning is not a nice thing, you know. And you can interview the maid. Because I've been to the house 6 o'clock in the morning. And you see a woman crying, a big woman. It's a very sad thing. And the maid is standing there. And she said, it's not good. And then you go on the radio. And you're demanding that people call you pundit. And check yourself.
Now, Ramesh, we continue with this trend. I want you to laugh a little bit. Eh? I want to cheer you up before I go. I understand that there's one Southern MP who's known for being found on Mayaro Beach with his secretary. There's another one who's known for being in beach houses with other MPs from St. Joseph and St. Augustine. And there's yet another MP who you touched on, another man of the cloth who had charged the Prime Minister of $30,000 for Kurma and loves to interfere with all these young girls, right? But some of the female MPs as well have been known for advancing people's careers. I mean, there's now a deputy political leader of a political party in Trinidad whose career started with a BMW from that particular Southern MP when they were drunk on stage talking about pipe and pipe. So tell me some of these stories that you remember.
Well, that in its sense, I would really like to touch on it in true sense, but it's sad. It is a sad thing. Those people, you know what's an orgy?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it's like an orgy there. I think that's the best explanation. That whole clip is like an orgy. Well, you will take it today and I will take it later. Or better all we take a wang bang tonight. You understand? And when the drink up takes place, it's like that. But that particular man of the cloth from South Who is still, yeah, that man does use people. But you know, we don't need to do this interview. You know, you need to go down to the constituency and find out from people who young daughters. Serious, the people out there who young daughters were used for reasons of getting a little job. Small thing, you know, or to get into a school. And they use the name of the cloth, or they use this name and use that name. And then they'll jump on it, it's Mr. So-and-so. Yeah, I use Mr. So-and-so. Of course, I've seen it all. We've seen it. How much time we have seen whether it's the Tammy Baker and the Jim Baker, the All Roberts, or whoever do some kind of fraud, or Jimmy Swaggart, he touched the Gangalang too, and these fellas doing it, so what is the big scene? So it's a norm with it. I think this is not a big subject. If you think it's a big subject, I see it as a norm. I was there, it's a norm. The gathering when they're drinking and eating and who sleep with who and who play with who and who touch you, that is a norm. It is a very normal thing.
So Ramesh, I mean, to me it's something big because you know, I hold these people in high esteem, to use the norm, right? And it's really crazy to hear some of these stories. I do know of one very, very young Southern MP as well, who is on both sides of the road, so to speak. I mean, she has a boyfriend with a big gun that walks around and bullies people. Yeah. And she has a girlfriend who runs a particular arm of the UNC. Tell me, is that true?
Yes, that is quite true. That is quite true. I don't know, you know that, but that's a fact. And it didn't start here, it started in England. But it's a fact, it came over here. That's a fact here. The fella there with the big gun, he just there with the big gun for the big gun. The big gun is run out of bullets. The female friend gun don't run out of bullets, it's run out of batteries and the active batteries.